Hello again. Welcome. Thank you all for being here again today. Today we're in a different situation than we were in yesterday, but I will remind everybody we are still in the critical path of what is called Tropical Storm Francine. We still expect tropical strength winds to hit Lafayette, and I want to ask citizens to make sure they find a secure location when that storm comes through. Be aware of the trees around you. Know that when trees come down, lots of things happen, including the power outages. And those are the most complicated power outages to put back on. So be aware of your trees. Get away from the trees, and expect to be without power for some time. I will say we are not letting our guard down. We are pushing forward with plans and preparations for the storm impact. I will say we are planning for all of the impacts that a storm can bring, whether you're on the east side, the west side, the eye, outside, Lafayette, we always get a little piece of it. We will get a piece of it. Not sure which piece yet, so we are prepared for all of that. I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who has joined the emergency operations team. We have been dealing with 80 to 100 people at the operations center nonstop for the last 2 days. And everybody, I will tell you, any areas of concern, we have seen everybody come together and work through those details. We've bridged communication gaps. We've set up, some of the most complex is the sheltering as well as transportation plans. I really want to thank everybody who's made a big effort to make sure all of the logistics that we potentially need have been worked through. And so I also want to recognize state and local leaders, including our mayors. Our mayors have been participating with us throughout. The first responders, the medical responders, the nonprofits, and especially our weather partners, local and national. They have been there with us on calls, as well. We also get to talk to them, our national weather partners on the news. So I want to thank everybody for that. The shelters, transportation, drainage, cleaning crews, tree trimmers, the backup crews, the search and rescue coordination, communications, all of that has really been the focus of the last few days. And I will say all staging will be complete by 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we will be ready for anything that comes our way. I'm going to add Francine is still a tropical storm with estimated sustained winds right now at 65 miles per hour. It could be a Category 1 prior to making landfall, and there are good chances it becomes a hurricane in the next 12 hours. We will start feeling impacts locally midday tomorrow, if not sooner. I think I drove through some horizontal rain a minute ago, so might be the most outer bands, right, are starting to arrive. I want to remind citizens, if you are living in low-lying areas, in mobile homes, in areas that are prone to flooding, you know who you are. You know when you deal with flooding a lot. Please make provisions to get to higher ground. Preparations to protect life and property should be complete by this evening. Check on your neighbors, on your family members, especially the elderly and those with special needs. Please, let's just one last check around the neighborhood and make sure everybody is good to go through the night. Once we get through Thursday morning, we will make assessments in Lafayette Parish, and depending on our situation, and if the storm continues to move eastward, we will be prepared to support our neighbors. I will say that. And I want to say the other mayors have asked me to express that on their behalf as well. All of us have different assets and different capabilities, and we will be here for whoever has impacts after this storm has come and gone. So with that, I'm going to bring up Christine Davies. I do want to thank Christine. I want to publicly thank her. She has brought tremendous talents to our entire team from her experience with GOSEP over the last 20 years. She has us on point, and I think everybody has been highly impressed. So I do want to thank her, and she's going to talk now about what's going on.
Good afternoon, everyone. What I want to provide you is just some details of our specific planning that we've been doing the last couple of days and what we have ready to go. Our shelter that we have set up at the Dupuy Recreation Center, the address is 1212 East Pont de Mouton Road. It will be opening today at 4 p.m. Our residents using the shelter should plan to bring the following items: state driver's license or any identification card, bedding, your personal hygiene products, any medication, baby formula, diapers, wipes, power strips and phone chargers, and food and water that are special to you to probably last you for a couple of days. Pets are allowed at our shelter, and they will be kept in a kennel, and we do have cages inside of the shelter that we can put your pets in. Pet owners are required to bring food, bowls, and leashes to walk your pets. Residents in need of transportation to the shelter, you should call 211. Any type of transportation need, and your transportation assets will be coordinated by our team. Transportation that is available will be all routes that will run as scheduled today until 8:30 p.m. tonight. The fares have been suspended today, so there are no costs for that. The Dupuy Recreation Center is along the current route, so transportation to the shelter will be provided. We are urging the citizens that need this assistance or have questions at all about your transportation, just dial 211. We're feeding all of our information, any type of emergency need, through the 211, and they'll be able to provide that to you. Our trash collection by AWS. Wednesday's collections will be suspended. Thursday's collection is to be delayed. Additional details will be followed via our Lafayette Consolidated Government and AWS social media sources and various press releases. Storm debris pickup plans are currently underway if we are impacted in this event to try to get that picked up as quickly as possible. I'll now turn it back over to the mayor.
Thank you. Next, we will bring up Interim Chief Paul Truard to give us an update on public safety.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Just to let you know what your LPD is doing, we are ready and able at this point. We've adjusted our shifts to provide extended services during the hurricane. We're supporting our shelters with security, and we have activated our high water unit. I do have a few quick notes for the general public if you'll assist us in these matters. First and foremost is during the hurricane, please stay at your house. Stay off the roads. Please don't cause any unnecessary use of your emergency services. Secondly, during the hurricane, please only call if you need actual emergency services. If something's going bad and you need us, we will respond. I do have several vehicles that can get to you, but only for emergency situations during the actual storm. After the hurricane, please don't go sightsee. All that does is hamper recovery efforts and causes issues for us. And lastly, Wednesday night, maybe into Thursday, if we do have a direct hit or a glancing blow, you're probably not going to have lights on the roadway. And we often respond to traffic crashes with poles down and with trees down, people don't see them. With that being said, if you need Lafayette PD, give us a call. Stay safe.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you for everything you guys are doing. I will remind you, many of the accidents happen after the storm. So, while we're all on alert until that storm gets here, it's after the fact where people often get injured. And so do follow his advice and do be careful. Next, I'll bring up Chief Benoit to talk about fire provisions.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. It's always good to follow the police chief because he used all my talking points, which is a good thing. But just to keep you abreast of what's going on, as we get closer into this storm, you're going to see more activity being done by the fire department. You're going to see us responding because as the rains come in and the winds picked up, you have a lot of alarm systems that are going to start being activated. That's going to cause us to have to respond to those calls to make sure that nothing's going on. When we get into the peak of the storm, you may lose power. So if you lose power, make sure that you unplug all of your electrical appliances until the power is safely restored back to your home. A critical part for you is that if you're going to use generators, make sure that any flammable or combustible liquids are not in the place of where the generator is. Make sure that the generator is on the outside of your facility, not under your roof. Make sure that there's a lot of ventilation in that area so that you don't get consumed by the fumes. And as always, if you're going to use some extension cords to service some of your appliances with the generator, extension cords get hot, it's got to be an approved Underwriters Laboratory UL approved extension cord, because when you plug them in, it's going to produce a lot of heat. So don't cover them under any rugs or carpets or anything like that. Remember, it's raining, it's going to be wet. Electricity and water doesn't mix, so be careful with that as you try to keep yourself safe in your home. If you're going to barbecue, make sure that any combustibles or flammables are not in that area. Make sure that any items that can be ignited by heat is separated from those areas while you stay safe in your home. As always, the chief said that please, if you don't have to get out, stay home. But if you're living in a low-lying area, please get out. We don't need you to call us at the last minute in the peak of the storm and we tell you, sorry, we can't get to you because the winds are too high or the roads are filled with water. So other than that, we expect to have a safe journey through this thing. We're going to get through it. It's not our first rodeo. We've got God on our side. Remember that. And at the same time, remember that you're going to help us be safe because we're there to protect you. Thank you.
So once we get through the storm safely from the police and without fire, from the fire department, the next great luxury is electricity.
Ready to be deployed, and we're going to be bringing some of them in tomorrow to work during the storm, tomorrow night during the storm, and then Thursday the rest of them. So about a third of our contracted crews will come in tomorrow, 2/3 will arrive on Thursday. During the storm, we will have personnel and crews on call and ready to respond for emergencies. However, we will wait until it's a safe operating condition to deploy the rest of them. If there are emergencies, the police chief and fire chief have both said if there are emergencies, we'll respond. But if it's a power outage, we ask you to please call our outage number, which is 337-291-9200. If you see a down line, assume it is energized and dangerous. Do not approach it and call us at 337-291-5700. Our intent right now, the way the storm is predicted to make landfall, is to deploy before sunrise Thursday morning. So after the winds die down and as the sun begins to rise, we will hit crews on the street and get them to where our emergency response is needed. With that in mind, be aware that we have an online account tool that you can log in and get outage notifications. If you're with a relative or friend out of town and you are interested in the status of your electric service, it's the lus.org My Account. There's an option to opt in to outage notifications, and you will get a text message when you lose power and then when it is restored again. So we encourage you to be mindful, stay diligent. We will get to you. We have the right amount of people coming in to help, and we will operate quickly and safely. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. I will open it up to any questions at this time. All right. Well, I think we're ready. Let's go. Thank you.